And it was Ethan's best friend who made that discovery and took Ethan's pulse and yelled for them to call 911.
Hey guys, it's been a minute. Let's go ahead and talk about the Idaho 4 case. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. I would like to let you guys know that I did start a new channel. It's about world events. I'm going to be keeping this one to talk about true crime. But on my other channel, Logical Oddity, we're going to be talking about what's going on around us. The first video I just put up last night on Valentine's Day is about the train derailments. And of course, as soon as I get that video uploaded and check the interwebs, I find out there's 2 more derailments. And we're going to be talking about the UFOs and a whole bunch of other things over there. The link for that channel is going to be up in the banner and also down in the description box. So come and join me and let's get our think tank started for real world things that affect everyone, shall we? We're going to go over this latest report that News Nation just put out. Again, I feel like they're kind of behind in what everyone in the true crime community here on YouTube is actually talking about. But we're just going to go ahead and dissect it anyway, okay?
It was Ethan's best friend who made the 911 call. It was Ethan's best friend who made the discovery. Now we can tell you that it was Ethan's best friend who had been called over that morning.
I don't know why she's feeling the need to repeat Ethan's best friend a million times. But we know how the media likes to use words to try to get a message across. It's really not necessary in this kind of story, but I guess she just can't let go of that. Yeah, we knew that. We kind of knew that. We talked about this in my last video. I've literally only uploaded one video for the entire month of February, and we spoke about this in that video, that it was Hunter. People were already talking about the fact that his best friend, Hunter, was the one who actually showed up to the house first, the one that Dylan called over. This is something that we've already known.
And made the discovery and took Ethan's pulse. Also called out to get 911 on the phone.
Okay, so if they're trying to say that he got there and when he walked into the house, he went straight to where Ethan was, found what happened to Ethan and Xana, checked Ethan's pulse, and then yelled out for 911 to be called, well, we know that the 911 call was right before 12, right before noon. So that would tell me, in logical, chronological logic, that he would have gotten there not very long before the 911 call was made. So this is actually kind of like confusing even more, because the way that this verbiage is makes it sound that way. But then we hear from Ethan's family about how there was miscommunications between Dylan and the other girls, and whenever she didn't get responses from the other girls, that's whenever she called someone over. But that's still an 8-hour time gap in between when the noises were heard according to the PCA and everything that we're being told so far, and the 911 call.
More than likely that the phone that was used to call 911 was surviving roommate Dylan Mortenson's cell phone.
Yeah, that part makes sense to me too. That doesn't feel like some sort of new revelation. That makes sense to me that it would have been Dylan's phone that was used to call 911. Her name is the only one that we're hearing about. And I'm going to ask you guys a question. Have y'all heard anything about Bethany not even being there that night? I've been following along on some other theories on a couple other channels, and I haven't seen the proof of this yet. I haven't looked too far. I've been extremely busy, but it is something I want to look into. Is that people are stating that Bethany wasn't there during the incident. That she most likely got there sometime in the morning time, and she wasn't actually there whenever all this happened. And I know that there's some guy coming out claiming to be the boyfriend of one of Dylan's friends with a whole bunch of information. And honestly, I think that's where most of this is coming from. Because when it comes to Bethany, we haven't heard a damn thing. Her name is like mentioned once in the PCA. And besides the fact that she lived there and her and Dylan now have matching tattoos for the victims, we don't know jack about Bethany. So have any of you guys heard that? Have y'all been following along with that? Is there any proof of that out there? If I find it, we're going to talk about it. But as for now, I'm pretty positive it's just being based off of what that one guy's video said. Nothing more. But I don't know.
According to an article that came out recently in Airmail, standard protocol, if there's confusion, just dispatch the first responders for an unconscious person, regardless of what the actual situation is.
A recent article? No, Miss Ma'am. Look, me and you guys, we talked about that part like at the beginning of January, about the unconscious person thing being something that they generically use within the first 10 to 15 seconds of a call if they cannot get clarity on the actual situation. They use unconscious person to go ahead and get dispatch sent where they need to go. Not new, baby.
Again, this is multiple sources tonight with knowledge of the investigation telling us about who made the discovery.
Multiple sources during a doubly confirmed gag order. Again, I'm just going to state this is most likely family members. I don't think, and I'm probably putting too much on this because I don't trust mainstream. Y'all should know that by now. Mainstream can kiss my butt. They're all a bunch of fakes. But at this point, mainstream would be really stupid to just be getting information from like just anyone stating that they were a friend or whatever. If they're smart, they're getting any of the details that they are willingly releasing to the public from immediate family that actually knows what's going on. So I'm just going to hope that this is coming from family. Because like I stated before, I feel like the family's details are going to be a lot more real than what the cops are telling us when it comes to like the truth and the timeline and what really happened. Because of course the cops have their own agenda for not releasing everything. And the fact that they've already played this down so much to where they were telling the entire area of college kids that there was no threat whatsoever, while allowing their suspect to freely roam around Washington State University where one of the victim's sisters went to school. Yeah, I don't have any faith in anything that they tell us. I want a conviction, but I want the right conviction. And I'm not going to be in complete agreement with the way that cops do things. I'm just not.
What I can tell you is who made the discovery of Maddie and Kaylee on the third floor.
Yeah, that's something else we don't have any information on. We've only been hearing about who discovered the second floor. We haven't heard anything about who eventually noticed what happened on the third floor. Because if what Ethan's family is stating is true and Dylan tried to contact all three of the girls, then it would have been Maddie and Kaylee that also never gave responses. But I'm almost wondering if the reason why she called, if this is true, that she called Ethan's friend Hunter over because she somehow knew that there was an actual situation with Ethan. But if they're trying to state that Ethan's friend is the one that discovered his body and checked his pulse and all those things, then that tells you they're trying to make us believe that Dylan legitimately never walked out of the bedroom, that she called someone over to come and check crap out 8 hours after she heard a bunch of noises. And we also know that the PCA, the report from the detective about what the crime scene looked like, that he was not the first responder. We don't even know how many hours or how long after 911 initially got to the house that the detective whose report is in the PCA actually showed up. Because we have no idea if Maddie's room had the door closed, if Kaylee's room had the door closed. Most of us are just assuming that her door was closed because Murphy didn't have any blood on him, according to the cops. But it would make more sense, in my theory, the way that my theory is, for her to have left Murphy in her room, in Kaylee's room, before walking across to go and find out what was going on in Maddie's room. Because I believe Maddie was victim number one. We've gone through this. So it would make more sense to me. But the fact that there's no first responders reports, we have no idea what it really even looked like. We have no clue about a lot of this. It's really frustrating.
Kids came over to the home and then 911 was called. And maybe, just maybe, kids were coming over to, get together and go out for a Sunday brunch.
Maybe, just maybe. Where are they getting this from? My Jesus.
Beginning with your exclusive reporting last week, things started to make a little bit more sense in terms of surviving roommate Dylan.
Let me tell you that comment got me heated for literally no reason. I get so aggravated now that I'm actually doing this as a creator, that these news stations come out with information way after the think tank here on YouTube has already been discussing it and trying to figure out what it means. And then they come out with it and they act like it's new revelations and, oh, it's your exclusive reporting. No, you've been watching somebody's channel. That's all that is, in my opinion. They probably have a complete team of people in a room somewhere that do nothing but watch YouTube true crime so that they can get their information. Because I'm telling you, we talk about things here in this community, my channel, a million other people's channels that are talking about this case and all these other cases that we follow, and then mainstream wants to jump on it like a few days after we've already been discussing it. And honestly, there's so much of this that they've been coming out with lately that we've talked about like months ago, which is why I haven't been doing a lot of videos on this case. Like I said, I've done one video for the entire month of February. Y'all know that's rare for me. It's usually like one video every few days. But nothing that they're talking about is worth me wasting my time. And that's what I feel like it is. I'm wasting my time, and I'm wasting you guys' time by repeating things that we've already discussed. We've known for a while that Dylan apparently told someone to shut the F up because they were being loud. That part was just conveniently not in the PCA, but that is something that we heard a long time ago, like way at the beginning of this case. And correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you that have been following since the beginning. When it came to that statement, did we not hear she called up to tell someone to shut up? And that's another reason why most of us believed that she was on the bottom floor with Bethany. Because of that statement. She called up to tell someone to shut up. Well, that's not true. If she was actually sleeping on the second floor, there would have been no up. She would have just opened her door, yelled it, and then shut the door again. So when I tell you guys verbiage matters, all the verbiage matters, because look what it does when it comes to simple things. There's a million different things that get popped up and chaos ensues, basically because one little word is used. It's stupid, but that's just what this is. But that's not new information, guys. We've known that. We knew that she told someone to shut up. That's why when they came out with this whole, oh, she was in a frozen shock phase, no one believed it, because we already had heard so many other things that proved otherwise. Now, it looks better on Dylan, in my opinion, if she had just been a little drunk, a little high on something, heard some noises and just kept telling people to shut up because she was just trying to go to bed, maybe texted the roommates and then fell asleep because of it being a weekend night and all the things I just aforementioned, and didn't even realize that she didn't get responses back until the 11 o'clock-ish hour whenever people were called over. I mean, that makes more sense to me than all this crazy stuff that the cops are allowing to happen. But we've talked about how the cops like to act like they hate all this chaos that happens on the internet, but they do everything they can to fuel it instead of put it out. But that's it for now. See y'all.